Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourself. Please subscribe the channel and also please do like and share and leave your suggestions in the comment section. Today I am going to talk about the schemes of Bank of India which is financing to existing business. Bank of India financing to existing business. Bank of India provides various services like working capital finances, term loans, trade finance, etc. to expand your business. Now I am going to share the details of Bank of India Star MSME GST Plus, Star Asset Backed Loan, Star Channel Credit, Star Energy Saver, and Star Export Credit. Bank of India Star MSME GST Plus to meet the need-based working capital requirements of trading or services. Features: to meet the need-based working capital requirement for trading or services or manufacturing businesses. Target group: all units engaged in trading or manufacturing activity classified under MSME as per regulatory definition will be eligible under the scheme. Units should have valid GSTIN. The rating of the account should be of minimum investment grade and complying entry-level norms. Nature of facility: working capital limit, fund-based or non-fund-based. Quantum of loan, minimum rupees 10 lakhs and maximum rupees 500 lakhs. In case of finance against both stocks and book debts, drawing power allowed against book debts should not be more than 40% of the total limit. In case of finance against only book debts, the maximum quantum of loan be restricted to rupees 200 lakhs. Security: primary, hypothecation of stocks, hypothecation of book debts up to 90 days. Collateral security: minimum CCR of 65% wherein CGT-MSME is not applicable. CGT-MSME coverage wherever applicable. Rate of interest as applicable. Margin: 25% on stocks and 40% on book debts. Assessment of loan: assessment is done strictly as per turnover specified in GSTR 1 and/or GSTR 4 returns filed by the borrower and/or GSTR 4 returns filed by the borrower. Minimum GSTR 1 return for minimum 3 consecutive months is required. GSTR 4 return for the preceding quarter is required. Based on turnover as per GSTR 1, average of 3 months, or GSTR 4, annual projected turnover may be assessed upon. The quantum of working capital limit should not exceed 25% of annual turnover assessed in case of micro and small enterprises and 20% in case of medium enterprises. Processing and other charges as applicable. Now Bank of India Star Asset Backed Loan to provide working capital for building up of current assets. Purpose: provide working capital for building up of current assets. To acquire fixed assets, plant and machinery needed for business purpose, capacity expansion, and modernization. To purchase or renovate or construct business premises or office or go down or shop or unit, etc. To tide over liquidity mismatch. To repay high cost debt, business loan of other banks or financial institutions. Quantum of loan, minimum rupees 10 lakhs and maximum rupees 20 crores. Loan to value, maximum up to 60% of market value of residential properties and maximum up to 50% of market value of other than residential properties. Market value can be considered only in case two valuation reports from different independent valuers is available. Lower of the market values as per valuation reports to be considered for LTV ratio. USP, lower rate of interest, simplified documentation, GST based loan amount, 25% in NFB commissions. Facility, term loan, overdraft, reducible or non-reducible, non-fund based limits, LC or BG, sublimit. Eligibility, all existing business enterprises complied with applicable statutory requirements such as Uddam registration, GST registration, license under Shops and Commercial Establishment Act, trade license, etc. And units should be in operation in last 3 years and should have earned cash profit at least in 2 preceding years. Rate of interest as applicable. Repayment. Maximum repayment tenure is 15 years. Now Bank of India Star Channel Credit. Star Channel Credit is available for both dealer and supplier. Bank of India Star Channel Credit Supplier, providing finance to supplier or vendors of sponsor corporates. Purpose, to meet funding requirement of supplier or vendor against goods or materials supplied to the sponsor credit corporate. Objective, providing finance to supplier or vendors of sponsor corporates. Target client, select suppliers and vendors identified by the sponsor corporate. Facility would be extended based on referral letter or recommendation of the corporate. Sponsor corporates, existing corporate borrowers of our bank availing credit limits with us. The credit rating of our existing borrowers should not be below investment grade. Sponsor corporates, other corporates who are not our existing borrowers but with minimum external credit rating of A and above. The sponsor corporates should be manufacturers or service providers of branded goods or products. Nature of facility, drawee bill or invoice finance, tenor of bill as per the arrangement between the supplier or vendor and the sponsor corporate, however not to exceed 90 days from the date of invoice. If the due date falls on Sunday or holiday, the bill becomes due for payment the following working day and no penal interest to be charged. Security, to be extended as clean facility to the supplier. Copy of invoice duly accepted by the sponsor corporate. Referral letter from the sponsor corporate. Personal guarantee of supplier or borrower, company promoter, partners, directors, as the case may be. Move or comfort letter with sponsor corporate, it should specifically mention the mode of repayment of principal and interest. Interest to be collected upfront or back-ended to be paid by vendor. Principal is to be repaid by sponsor corporate. Since the payment obligation of the invoice discounted always lies with the sponsor corporate as it has been accepted by them and they are the recipient of goods supplied, principal is to be repaid by sponsor corporate. Tenure of loan, maximum 90 days. Extent of finance, vendor or supplier wise limit to be fixed in consultation with corporate and the maximum limit is to be capped at 20% of the estimated annual supplies to the corporate. Total supplies as per last financial year. Aggregate exposure on the sponsor corporate is to be capped at maximum at 50% of previous year's total raw material purchased as per corporate's financial statement. Margin nil. Move with sponsor corporate. Move with sponsor corporate to be executed. Rate of interest RBLR plus BSS 0% plus CRP 0.20%. Principal repayment. Principal should be repaid by the sponsor corporate on due date. Cash credit or current account of the corporate as the case may be debited on the due date and credit should be made to the account of vendor. Opening of current account of a sponsor corporate should be explored. Interest repayment. The interest to be paid by the vendor would be recovered upfront, that is at the time of disbursement or at the back end on the due date of bills as agreed by the sponsor corporate. In case the interest payment is upfront, the notional interest may be deducted from the actual bill amount discounted and the proceeds after recovering the interest may be credited to the vendor's account. In case the interest payment is back-ended, the same will be borne by the vendor and to be paid on the due date. However, insistence should be made by the branches for collecting the interest upfront at the first place. Now, Bank of India Star Channel Credit Dealer providing finance to dealers of sponsor corporates. Purpose to meet working capital requirement of dealers for purchase goods or spares or inventory purchase, etc. from the corporate sponsor. Objective providing finance to dealers of sponsor corporate. Target client selected dealers identified by the sponsor corporate. Facility would be extended based on the referral letter or recommendations of the corporate. Existing corporate borrowers of our bank availing credit limits with us. The credit rating of our existing borrowers should not be below investment grade. Other corporates who are not our existing borrowers but with minimum external credit rating of A and above, the sponsor corporates should be manufacturers or service providers of branded goods or products. Nature of facility. Invoice discounting. Tenor of bill as per the arrangement between the dealer and the sponsor corporate, however not to exceed 90 days from the date of invoice. Advance granted on FIFO basis in running account, CC or OD. Security. Referral letter from the sponsor corporate agreeing to stop making further supply to the dealer and to provide assistance to the bank for recovery of dues if there is any default in payment by the dealer or otherwise repossesses the goods and liquidate bank's dues. Hypothecation charge to be created on the stock or inventory financed by the bank. Additionally, branch may explore obtention of comfort letter from the corporate that overdues of the dealer may be cleared by appropriation of security deposit or by invoking bank guarantee submitted by the dealer to their principals. Security collateral coverage. Minimum 20% of wherein the sponsor corporates are the borrowers of the bank, the dealers are having more than 5 years of experience. Minimum 25% wherein the sponsor corporates are the borrowers of the bank and the dealers are having less than 5 years of experience. Minimum 25% in all other cases with dealers having more than 5 years of experience. Minimum 30% in all other cases with dealers having less than 5 years of experience. CGTMSE coverage. CGTMSE coverage can be obtained for limits up to rupees 200 lakhs only and if the borrower is under micro and small category and if we are the sole bankers. Personal guarantee of all the promoters or partners or directors of the borrower dealer company as the case may be. Debit mandate. In case of the borrower is maintaining account with us, PTC or ECS mandate in the cases wherein the dealer is maintaining account with some other bank. Corporate guarantee of sponsor corporate is to be explored. Tenure of loan, maximum 90 days. Extent of finance, limit for each dealer is to be fixed, need based and in consultation with the sponsor corporate and within the maximum MPBF allowed based on the actual or projected turnover. Aggregate exposure on the sponsoring corporate is to be capped at maximum 30% of previous year's total sales as per the corporate's financial statement. Margin 5% per invoice. Maximum funding will be the extent of 95% of the invoice value. However, sanctioning authority may waive the margin stipulation on case-to-case basis. Move with sponsor corporate. Move with sponsor corporate is mandatory. Rate of interest as applicable. Repayment period. The repayment will be done by dealer on or before due date. Each credit in the account will be appropriated on FIFO basis as per the due date. Interest period. The interest could be recovered upfront, that is at the time of disbursement or at the back end on the due date of bills on the basis as agreed by the sponsor corporate. Now Bank of India Star Energy Saver. Target. All MSME units as per extant guidelines of MSMED Act. Note. Dealers in energy saving devices are not eligible under the scheme. Purpose: to modernize or upgrade or adopt energy saving machinery and equipments only renewable energy. Quantum of loan maximum rupees 10 crores. Eligibility: income registration and obtaining minimum entry level score in scoring model under the scheme. Minimum CBR or CMR as per product guidelines. Nature of facility. Fund based in form of demand loan or term loan and non-fund based facility for capex purpose only. Margin. Minimum 15% of the cost of machinery or equipments to be purchased. Security. Hypothecation of machinery or equipment financed. Tenure. Demand loan. Maximum up to 36 months. Term loan. Maximum up to 84 months. Tenure is including moratorium up to maximum 6 months if any. Rate of interest starting at the rate of RBLR. Terms and conditions apply. Now Bank of India Star Export Credit. Target individuals, proprietorship, partnership firms, LLP, corporate, trust societies, export houses. Purpose to meet business requirement of our existing or NTB exporters for execution of export orders. Eligibility MSME and agro units having CBR 1 to 5 or BBB and better ECR if applicable and having entry level credit rating. Minimum CBR or CMR as per product guidelines. Eligibility no SMA 1 or SMA 2 in last 12 months. Takeover of account is permitted. Nature of facility pre and post shipment packing credit INR and USD, inland LC or foreign LC or SBLC issuance and negotiation of bills under LC. Margin pre-shipment 10%, post-shipment 0 to 10%. Security hypothecation of assets created out of bank finance and current assets. Collateral ECGC cover mandatory for all. Minimum CCR of 0 to 330 or FACR of 1.00. Minimum CCR of 0.20 or FACR of 0.90 for star rated export houses. Concession in charges up to 50% concession in service charges and PPC. Rate of interest for INR based export credit, rate of interest is as applicable. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you very much for your patience.